up, guys? Welcome back to another 6.0 video. Today we're going to be addressing the front of this truck. Now, we've got several different things that need tending to. We got a big dent in our bumper from a deer. Our grill is busted, but we're going to start off by replacing our headlights. So the 03, 04 trucks have this really ugly multi-piece headlight, and then the V2 6-liter has got the single headlight housing, which looks so much better. So we're going to attempt to swap that out for a 05, 06 headlight, which is this guy right here. Pick this up on Amazon. It's clear with this nice big running light. I've never ran a aftermarket running light headlight before, but I think this is going to look really good if we can run it like I want, which is hopefully tapping into a fuse that gets key on power so that we don't have to run it to our parking lights. Because if you do that, when you turn the switch to power it up, your mirror lights turn on, but also this bulb right here, which then I feel takes away from the clean look of having just this light lit up. As well as, I don't even know if these are going to swap over directly. The forums say, some say yes, some say you got to cut a bunch of stuff, some say the wiring is different. So I don't freaking know, but we're going to take it apart and find out. Also, picked up some Hot Shot Secrets everyday diesel treatment. Does the 6-liters like this? I know this is huge in the Duramax world because that's what I'm familiar with because I've had two. Is this good for your power stroke? Is this going to make it blow up? Head gasket? Yes? No? I don't know. Either way, let's go ahead and get these babies out, see if we can get these guys in. Step one is going to be to remove your negative terminals on your batteries, and then we need to take these Phillips head screws out of the grill so that we can remove it. Next up, grab you a flathead. We're going to be prying these tabs up so that the grill can pull out. It's going to be 4 of them. And then you can remove the grill. Then we're going to go ahead and take our bumper loose. That way we can wiggle it a little bit and have a little easier time getting the headlights in and out, as well as access to our lower screws. 18 mil. Grab them with some needle nose and push your headlight in and wiggle them out. Just like that. There we go. Now down in here is a 9/32. Let's go ahead and loosen it completely up. See the headlight pop free. It's gonna be your best way to get that out. We're not reusing that. Let's go ahead and pop our light out. Wiggle our socket loose. She's out. You might have Phillips head screws holding yours on. I have got 7/32. And then you can just pop this guy out. Your screws should fall to the ground. Take your main socket out. And then over here on the side, you got the little one. Twist it free, and now she goes. Now it's time for the not so fun part, and it's going to be very tedious, but just take your time, check, cut, check, cut, check, cut, and you'll eventually get them sitting proper. So this is how it is from the factory on the 03, 04s. You got all these big things sticking out. Basically, we're going to cut a square out of the inside of this and remove all of that, because this truck, even though it didn't utilize these, has the mounts for the next gen 6-liter. So here and here will be our new upper mounts, and then the bottom screws will be reused for the lower. So I've already cut it over here. As you see, you basically just cut a big square out. Here is the piece. It's a little bit scary, not gonna lie, but you're basically just removing all this crap so the headlight can actually sit in there. It's this whole piece across this top. You need that to stay strong so that it actually can attach to your new headlights. Don't mess up the structural integrity of that, and don't mess up with these, or don't mess with these. Well, there's your little rough estimate drawn on there. The biggest thing that you don't want to cut is this from this, because this doesn't mount to anything else, and if you go cutting all this off, this is going to be floppy and your headlight's not going to secure properly. So leave yourself, you know, ½ inch or something from this guy to here so that it stays sturdy, and make sure you push all of your wires and stuff out of the way so that you don't accidentally cut them. And what I'm using to cut it with is, I think it's called a diamond tip or something like that. I was trying to use a cutoff wheel on this hyper tough Dremel that I bought for like 30 bucks, and they kept breaking. It's really hard to get them in at the right angle, so I decided to try this thing, and it breezes through it pretty freaking good. So go ahead and get you some gloves, get you a ventilation mask, glasses, You want to be protected. This is fiberglass. You don't want to be breathing it or getting it in your eyes or really anywhere. So suit up, get all the proper equipment on, and let's get to cutting.
Well, I forgot to hit record, but basically just take this guide, go around this, pops off, smooth it out.
So on your new headlights, go ahead and remove these because you should still have your factory ones, and obviously they can't both be on there. I absolutely hate wearing gloves to film because I'll hit the record button, and when I'm pulling my hand back, the glove will actually tap it again and it makes it stop recording. Anyways, I was pulling that little guard out because I need it to fit as tight as possible, and that extra little 1/4 of an inch right here was making it stick out a little too much, so I was going to trim it down to where you can still put it in here so you don't see that nastiness under there, but remove it from here. And then I found this guy, which I think is our ambient air temperature sensor. Goes right here. The wire is broken. I don't think I did that, but obviously the recording didn't happen, so I couldn't see if I did. Looks old. The tear looks old to me. All right, time for the moment of truth. Let's see how good of a trim job we did. Lower the bottom in there. Pretty freaking good. Well, that's a big fat negative on O'Reilly's having our ambient air temperature sensor, but kind of expected that. All right, guys, catching back up with y'all a couple days later because I ended up having to order a few parts, but let's go through it real quick. So for starters, you need an adapter to go from the factory connection right here to the 05 Plus light, which I actually had to get a new light. I went with an LED. We're gonna go ahead and swap everything out to last fit once we get those in, but for the time being, I picked this up on Amazon, as well as I think I got this on Amazon. I'll have links to them in the description, but this lets you go from the previous connector to the new one, and it works. I've got it in over here. So you'll need that connector and a newer headlight. Now for your little corner marker light, the factory connector will not fit in this new housing. So what I ended up doing, because I didn't really like, and really on any vehicle, I don't really like the little side light that shines. So I actually just cut the back side off, and the little tabs go in, and then I just siliconed it in there to ensure that it doesn't leak. And instead of having a side marker, I wired our halos, or whatever you call them, the LED running lights, into that connector. So it's a black and brown wire. Black is negative, brown is positive. Just hook your red one to the brown, the black to the black. And now when you turn on the running lights in the right position on your switch, those will cut on, our halos will cut on, and unfortunately still the center light down here will turn on. I went through the fuse box and every single fuse is hot, no matter if the key is off. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but just on this truck, I did not find a single fuse that was not power on with the truck completely turned off. So I wasn't able to do what I initially wanted to do. So we will have that lower bulb on. Now the lower bulb is typically orange, but mine was all crusty, so I just took a rag and scraped off all the orange. Now it does still light up halogen. We're gonna replace that with a switchback eventually, but it looks better without it being crusty orange and just having the orange reflect all the time when it's not turned on. So that's it for all the wires and the connectors. And then I ran down to the parts store, and the little tabs that you can screw into that were on the bottom of this that I took off earlier, I put onto this connector, or this mounting point here and here, and then I just got a washer and some screws and secured it into there. So here's your little preview. It's in there. Fitment is I mean, it's not absolutely 1,000,000% perfect, but that's not got a huge gap either. It's pretty freaking clean. So yeah, you definitely do have to have a couple different things to make this swap possible, but I have a link to everything in the description. Aside from, if you did want to maintain this, you'd need to pick up a 05 plus, I guess, bulb and housing, and maybe that would work with the factory connector. I don't know. I didn't care to keep it, so I'm just using this one. So yeah, now we just gotta put it in there, bolt it all down, 2 bolts down here in the bottom, 2 up here in the top. We're done. So I'm gonna get that knocked out, get our grill put back on, clean the truck up, and then we'll have a reveal. Boys, I ain't gonna lie, that one was a little sketchy, even though we were right in front of the courthouse. Leaving the old phone out on the side. 6.0 is screaming. Hopefully those clips turned out somewhat good. These headlights look incredible. We're gonna pull somewhere where I can kind of chill out for a minute and not be stressed. I feel like the popo is come out and yell at me any second now. But dude, they look freaking awesome. All right, guys, well, here she is. This thing looks absolutely killer. In my opinion, I am very happy with how it turned out. Still wish we could have done it without that lower bulb, but since it's pretty dull, you don't really notice it that much, and you definitely have the pronounced running lights now, and I think it flows really good. Obviously, just having a new crispy looking headlight goes a long way compared to the original 2000 probably 3 headlights that were in this thing, the 2/3 piece design versus now the single piece. I think it looks really freaking good. Let me know if you know any fuse that you can use. I couldn't find one that wasn't hot with the key off, but yeah. And I got my air temperature sensor. Yes, our freaking grill's clapped. Wired back up, and I guess working. It wasn't throwing a code. I got to get the SCT out. That's going to be a whole nother video where we play around with it, but I want to see if there's some codes in the background that haven't triggered a full check engine light, but are still codes, because that thing was definitely broke before me. I didn't break it. The ends of the wires were corroded, so it's been who knows how long. Somebody did that at some point, so I mean, I don't know. I feel like the truck cranks a little easier now. Maybe it'll help because it knows what the temperature is outside. It's also at first shifting really hard, I guess because I had the batteries disconnected for so long. The truck's having to like relearn, because it was kind of shifting pretty hard at first, but now it has smoothed out after doing some driving. I guess it just, you know, had to go through a little relearn cycle. But yeah, dude, it looks freaking good. I was so stoked getting out on Main Street when it wasn't super busy, and getting some cool pitches and some clips. I need to do that more often, especially right now at this time when the courthouse has got the sun behind it. We're on the other end of it now. But yeah, dude, I'm stoked. So overall, not the worst job, not the easiest for sure, just because you do have to do a lot of cutting and modifying and stuff, and obviously you got to do some wire connectors, but you know, get you some good connectors, some heat shrink, some electric tape, wire crimpers and cutters and whatever the case, and you can swap yours. So I guess all the 7.3 and first version V1 62 or 60 owners, 0304 guys, you can have a solid headlight. So I need to go in and bring this in a little bit more. So a little bit bigger gap over here than I was able to get on this side. Well, now that I mention it, I need to go back and try to get it a little bit better on both sides. So I'm probably gonna have to go in here and trim out a little bit more. But even as is, it's not bad. It's not noticeable. The other gaps on the original lights were worse than that. So yeah, I think it looks super freaking good. And that running light is very crispy. Let me go ahead and just turn it off. That way you can see. At first I was really torn. I was like, man, I shouldn't have got the running lights. I should have just got the clears like pretty much everybody runs. But then once you turn them on, I think it's a really nice touch. And even when they're off, I think they're pretty cool looking. I don't really have any complaints. They definitely look better when they're turned on rather than this. But hopefully I did showcase in this video every single step. If there is any other questions, be sure to comment down below and I'll try to answer anyone's questions. But I think I pretty much got everything. So that's gonna be a wrap for this one, boys. I think next up, I don't know, I got so many different videos planned for this thing, but definitely gotta address the rear lighting on this thing, and I think y'all are gonna be stoked to see what we got for it, which I already got it in, so I'm really having a hard time holding off, but I don't wanna rush through this thing and be done with it super fast and then have to get rid of it. I wanna enjoy the process. So anyways, hopefully y'all did enjoy. Be sure to comment down below, let me know, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, ring that bell notification, and the first link in the description, you can go pick up a decal and anything else that we might have on the shop. So go check it out. It goes directly back into the channel for more truck parts. So yeah, anything you want to buy, I appreciate it greatly. With that said, I'll see y'all in the next video. All right guys, for anyone that was wanting to see them at nighttime, here you go. This is with obviously the headlights on, which are pretty bright, nothing crazy. I guess a lot better than factory. I'll go ahead and cut them off real quick. There we go. Yeah, they're freaking bright as crap. They're really bright. It's gonna be hard for the camera to pick it up without it glaring, but they are super bright. Let me change from cinematic real quick. So I'll cut the lighting down. It's really defined, even though like right here it looks blown out. It's honestly not. In person, it's very defined. You can see the lines good. There she is.